बिहारी राधा माधवा। जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astottara Satishvi Srimat His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astottara Satishvi Srimat His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nantakoti Vaishnav Vrindi Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। श्री नवद्वीप मायेपुर धाम की जय। श्री मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय, यमुना माई की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, तुलसी महारानी की जय, सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the lotus feet, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. So today is the festival of Jagannath Mishra, the festival observed by the father of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jagannath Mishra, after the appearance of Lord Chaitanya. So I actually chose to read a verse from Bhagavad Gita, more little philosophy. And because these pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, especially the festival of Jagat Mishra, are more the pastimes of the Lord. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So I'm reading a verse from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge, text number 9. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyakva deham purna janma naeti mam eti so Arjuna. Translation. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So please repeat. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The Lord's descent from His transcendental abode is already explained in the 6th verse. One who can understand the truth of the appearance of the personality of Godhead is already liberated from material bondage, and therefore he returns to the kingdom of God immediately after quitting this present material body. Such liberation of the living entity from material bondage is not at all easy. The impersonalists and the yogis attain liberation only after much trouble and many births. Even then, the liberation they achieve, merging into the impersonal Brahma Jyoti of the Lord, is only partial, and there is the risk of returning to this material world. But the devotee, simply by understanding the transcendental nature of the body and activities of the Lord, attains the abode of the Lord after ending this body, and does not run the risk of returning to this material world. In the Brahma Samhita 5.33, it is stated that the Lord has many forms and incarnations. Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Anantarupam. Although there are many transcendental forms of the Lord, they are still one and the same personality of Godhead. One has to understand this fact with conviction. Although it is incomprehensible to mundane scholars and empiric philosophers, as stated in the Vedas, Purusha Bodhini Upanishad, Eko Deva Nitya Lila Anu Rakto Bhakta Vyapi Ridhi Antar Atma. Translation. The one Supreme Personality of Godhead is eternally engaged in many transcendental forms in relationships with his unalloyed devotees. Unquote. This Vedic version is confirmed in this verse of the Gita personally by the Lord. He who accepts this truth on the strength of the authority of the Vedas and of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and who does not waste time in philosophical speculations, attains the highest perfectional stage of liberation. Simply by accepting this truth on faith, one can without a doubt attain liberation. The Vedic version, Tat Tvam Ashi, is actually applied in this case. Anyone who understands Lord Krishna to be the Supreme, or who says unto the Lord, "You are the same Supreme Brahman," the personality of Godhead, is certainly liberated instantly, and consequently his entrance into the transcendental association of the Lord is guaranteed. In other words, such a faithful devotee of the Lord attains perfection, and this is confirmed in the following Vedic assertion. Tvam eva vidivati mrityumeti nanya phanta vidyate ayanya. Translation: one can attain the perfect stage of liberation from birth and death simply by knowing the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and there is no other way to achieve perfection. Svetashvatara Upanishad 3.8. That there is no alternative means that anyone who does not understand Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is surely in the mode of ignorance, and consequently he will not attain salvation simply, so to speak, by licking the outer surface of the bottle of honey, or by interpreting the Bhagavad Gita according to mundane scholarship. Such empiric philosophers may assume very important roles in the material world, but they are not necessarily eligible for liberation. Such puffed up mundane scholars have to wait for the causeless mercy of the devotee of the Lord. One should therefore cultivate Krishna consciousness with faith and knowledge, and in this way attain perfection. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurul Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sahagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sujivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Satadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatha Dashatharine Vancha Kalpa Turubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pabhinebhyo Vaishnavbhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 4, text 9, translation: one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not upon leaving the body take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So this is a very nice statement and benediction or result given by Lord Krishna himself. And we are all aspiring to go back to Krishna. So he is telling us, one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode. So this is how our practice should be, that we should learn about the appearance and the activities of Lord Krishna. And as we've read in the purport, Lord Krishna has many incarnations. So recently, or yesterday, was a major festival, Gaur Purnima festival, and we had like a week-long discussion and different speakers on the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Personally, I never heard of Lord Chaitanya before coming to Krishna consciousness. And I would see the Hare Krishna devotees on the street, and devotees would come for the 10 campaign festival in our area. And always they would chant like Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita, Gadadhar, Shivasari, Gaur, Bhaktivinoda. I would wonder, what is this? And I never knew Lord Chaitanya. And because we grew up following a little family tradition, and on a certain day we'd do a certain puja, we'd observe Ram Navami, Krishna Astami, so many festivals, but there was no, I personally did not know. I was just following what my parents were teaching me to do, and I was doing that until I had some spiritual inquiry. And then somehow in 1995, I was after the 10 campaign program in Verlam, they mentioned that we have a service in a local school in Verlam. So I decided, let me go and learn more about the Hare Krishna people. So I went, and it was on a Monday night. I took a walk from home. It was about 10 or 15 minutes walk to the school. And I went, and the devotees were there. They were all, after the 10 campaign program, they were all very fired up. And so then they started the service, or the Namahata program, and they sang one song that I never heard before. Jaya Jaya, the Gaura Aarti song. And they had, although there was the big sign with the words on it, and it was the first time I came across it. And it was sung so beautifully by His Grace Sri Yuga Prabhu. He was the brahmachari preaching on the north coast at that time. And always wondered, and I couldn't understand anything. The words, and it was something that I heard for the first time. So this is how later on understood, like this is a prayer by Bhaktivinoda Thakur to Lord Chaitanya. Then I had to try and understand who Bhaktivinoda Thakur is, and there was like so many things coming one after another. And so this was like practically the first time I came across the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through this song, the Gaura Aarti song. All glories to the beautiful Arctic ceremony of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is taking place on the banks of the river Jahnavi, and it is attracting all the living entities in the material world. It was so beautiful to read, and then read the translation. Also, during this first day at the Namahata, one devotee gave me the temple songbook at that time. And so he said, no, these are songs that we sing, and this song, Guru Puja, we sing. At that time we were having the Guru Puja at the end, but every day, every Monday when we'd go, then we would sing this Gaura Aarti song. So this is how I first learnt about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But before that I never even heard of Lord Chaitanya, Gaura Hari and this Vaishnava culture. So yesterday was the appearance day of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself. So these words that we've read from Bhagavad Gita is also the words of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he is also saying same thing. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities, he does not take birth again. So 5,000 years ago, Lord Krishna appeared in Vrindavan, India. He performed many wonderful pastimes. And his final instruction in Bhagavad Gita is Sarva Dharmam Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. You give up all varieties. Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki jai, Giriraj Govardhan ki jai, Gaur Hari ki jai, Tulsi Maharani ki jai, Guru Parampara ki jai. Lord Krishna says his final instruction in Bhagavad Gita, you give up all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. And as we learn following this, that practically no one knew how to follow this final instruction of Lord Krishna. Therefore Krishna comes again as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Appeared 500 years ago in West Bengal, India, and Mayapur, Navadvip Mayapur. And Lord Chaitanya's life is a practical demonstration of this final instruction of Lord Krishna. Because during this week and especially yesterday, if we heard the different classes, we had heard many reasons, confidential reasons, external reasons why Lord Chaitanya appeared. But for us, we are fortunate that Lord Chaitanya appeared to demonstrate that final instruction of Bhagavad Gita, how to become a devotee. And when we try to become a devotee, then we can understand the other reasons, the confidential reasons, and to try and experience the mood of Radharani and such esoteric subject matters. But we'll understand more. For us, it's important that Lord Chaitanya's life is a practical demonstration of how we should be devotees. And today we are observing the festival of Jagannath Mishra. Jagannath Mishra is the father of Lord Chaitanya. His mother is Sachi Devi. And they are the same persons. Lord Chaitanya is Krishna, and Jagannath Mishra is Nanda Maharaj, and Sachi Devi is Mother Yashoda. So they're the same personalities again who appeared 500 years ago in West Bengal. 5,000 years ago, it was also a major celebration when Lord Krishna appeared. When we read in the Krishna book, when Krishna appeared, his foster parents, Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, his original parents are Devaki and Vasudev, but he was transferred to the village of Nanda Maharaj. And immediately when the residents of Gokul, they heard that there was a child born to Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, there was a great excitement, and everyone came to visit and to see the child. So this is the appearance of Lord Krishna 500 years ago. And practically the same experience or the same activities took place 500 years ago when Lord Chaitanya appeared. When Krishna appeared, we'll find immediately there was not a major celebration, it was a quiet celebration, because Kamsa, he had this benediction that he would be killed by the 8th child of Devaki and Vasudev. So immediately when he heard that the 8th child was born, and he wanted to find this child, and then he created, or he sent his servants to find this child, and as a result he began to kill all the children in the village and things like that. So therefore Krishna's appearance was a very quiet appearance, the festival was very secluded. And immediately Nanda Maharaj, he began to perform different ceremonies for Lord Krishna, and the major aspect of celebrating the appearance of Lord Krishna, known as Nanda Utsav, is the day after Krishna was born. Of course, we don't follow this so much because we observe our major celebration is Srila Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja, but when Krishna appeared, there was a celebration, and immediately there was a horoscope done for the child, and Nanda Maharaj, although he wasn't a wealthy person, but according to Vedic custom and ceremonies, to create auspiciousness and to create good fortune and to purify the child, one has to give charity. So in this way, Nanda Maharaj, 5,000 years ago, he gave cows and grain in charity, and they were decorated cows. It was done very nicely to the Brahmanas. He gave them to the Brahmanas. So in the same way, it's mentioned that the wealth that we earn, although most of the time it's done in an honest way, but sometimes there's some dishonesty to it. So in order to purify that wealth, one has to give that wealth in charity to Brahmanas. And in this way also, and the person that you're giving the charity in that person's name, or that person benefits. So in this way, the baby was purified. That's what they wanted. Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, they wanted their child to become purified. They wanted to create auspiciousness for the child. So they began to distribute this charity. They prepared nice prasadam, nice sweets, and they distributed to especially to the Brahmanas and whoever came. So 500 years ago, the same Lord Krishna appears as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and a similar thing, the same festival was held. This time by the father of Lord Chaitanya, who is Nanda Maharaj, as Jagannath Mishra, and he practically did the same thing. But one thing a little different was, initially when Lord Chaitanya appeared, they could understand that this was a very special child. And they saw personalities that came that they never seen before. And they spoke a different language as well. So these personalities that initially came when Lord Chaitanya appeared were the demigods along with their wives. They knew this was Krishna. So they came and they showered petals, and they began to sing and dance. And so in this way, when Sachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra saw all these personalities, and they were speaking to each other in Sanskrit, and they were speaking the local Bengali language. So they were thinking that these were different people. They knew all the Brahmanas in the area and things like that, but these personalities they were seeing for the first time. In the same way, during Krishna's pastimes as well, the demigods came. So here, Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi, they were astonished by who these personalities were. They looked so beautiful, and so immediately the demigods came to take darshan of Lord Chaitanya as a baby. And Nilambara Chakravarti, who is the father of Sachi Mata, he came and he instructed Jagannath Mishra to begin to perform the various ceremonies to create auspiciousness and good fortune and to purify the child. So, and also at this time, one of the Brahmanas appeared whom they've never seen before. So this is all taking place in a place called Yoga Pit. Yoga Pit, if you from our ISKCON campus in Mayapur, probably about 10 or 15 minutes walk down the road, Bhakti Siddhanta Road, you'll come to the Yoga Pit, which is the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya. And you can go there, it's under the tree, the neem tree. This place is very nicely taken care of. And Yoga Pit, yoga means to link. So this Yoga Pit means where the spiritual world links with the material world. So this is how Lord Chaitanya appeared. So during these festivities were all taking place there. So this one Brahmana appeared and he did the horoscope. Just like how Lord Krishna appeared and a horoscope was done, and Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, they heard of Lord Krishna's different transcendental qualities. So in this way, this Brahmana, he also did the horoscope of Lord Chaitanya. And one of the he gave a name for Lord Chaitanya, Vishwambara. Vishwa means this entire material creation. So this name Vishwambara, which was given, the first name given to Lord Chaitanya, means one who supports the entire universe. So this was the first name of Lord Chaitanya that this Brahmana gave. And then the horoscope, there were many wonderful and extraordinary predictions in the horoscope. One was that this child will become a preacher and he'll distribute and preach in such unique ways. He'll be a preacher and he'll ultimately distribute bhakti, Krishna prema, love for Krishna. But he'll do it in unique ways. And another more confidential horoscope benediction was that he will be a sannyasi. And it's very rare that during a horoscope reading that you'll find that this benediction or prediction is that this child will become a sannyasi. So this was all part of this festival of Jagannath Mishra. And the verse that we've read today, Prabhupada gives us some very nice guidelines. Prabhupada writes, one who can understand the truth of the appearance of the personality of Godhead is already liberated from material bondage, and therefore he returns to the kingdom of God immediately after quitting this present material body. So although we are trying to elevate ourselves, we have to follow the process that Srila Prabhupada has given. We can study these pastimes of Krishna, we can memorize them, but if we do not have a firm foundation, that will gradually be taken away from us. We all have this experience. We have to ground ourselves on the practice set by Prabhupada. We have to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. We have to become free from sinful life. Then we can become fixed in our Krishna consciousness. As the philosophies, Naam, Rupa, Guna, Leela. First is the name. Always you'll see, sometimes you'll hear someone did something. Who is that person? You'll get a name. Then they'll give you a description. He is like this, he is like that. Then finally you'll see him, and then you will get to know his qualities. And then after that, finally you can know his different activities. So in the same way with Lord Krishna and our spiritual practice, Prabhupada is advising us to first chant the name of Krishna. And then as we go through the progression, we can enter into the Leela. The final aspect is the Leela, which we are trying to discuss today. So Prabhupada is saying that one who can understand the truth of the appearance of the personality of Godhead is already liberated. So it'll be easy to get a book and read about the past times and then think, I'm liberated. And Prabhupada, he warns us later on, such liberation of the living entity from material bondage is not at all easy. See? What makes it easy? By following authority. Anything you want a driver's license, you follow authority, whatever is required, you'll get a driver's license. The most simple thing. You want a PhD, you do the same. See? So this is Prabhupada's advice. The impersonalists and the yogis attain liberation only after much trouble and many, many births. Even then, the liberation they achieve, merging into the impersonal Brahmajyoti of the Lord, is not partial, and there is a risk of returning to this material world. But the devotee, simply by understanding the transcendental nature and body and activities of the Lord, attains the abode of the Lord after ending this body and does not run the risk of returning to this material world. So again, it's very important to try and understand what Prabhupada is saying. He gives the example of the impersonalists and the yogis, that they do such severe austerities, but there's a risk of them coming back to this world. But for a devotee, there is no such risk, provided we follow. We have to follow. Again, this is a major theme of Srila Prabhupada. Everywhere we read, he is criticizing the Mayavadis and the impersonalists. He is giving us warnings. And we'll find even Lord Chaitanya, he says that one who listens to Mayavadis and impersonalists, he is doomed. So we have to clearly understand, according to Vedic understanding, according to Sanatana Dharma, God or Krishna is ultimately a person. And we have to accept Krishna as a person. Prabhupada continues. In the Brahma Samhita 533, it is stated that the Lord has many, many forms and incarnations. Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Ananta Rupam. Although there are many transcendental forms of the Lord, they are still the one and the same personality of Godhead. One has to understand this fact with conviction. Although it is incomprehensible to mundane scholars and empiric philosophers, as stated in the Vedas, Prabhupada quotes from the Purusha Bohidini Upanishad. The one Supreme Personality of Godhead is eternally engaged in many, many transcendental forms in relationship with his unalloyed devotees. So it's Lord Chaitanya appeared. This is also his major theme, is to defeat the impersonalists and voidists, the voidists or the impersonalists, Mayavadis. During his time also there were very big Mayavadi sannyasis. And there was one Prakashananda Saraswati who criticized Lord Chaitanya that you're a sannyasi, but you are singing and dancing like a madman. And you are a sannyasi, you should be studying Vedanta philosophy. You should be sitting down in one place quietly reading and studying. But we see that like a madman you are running around chanting this Hare Krishna. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that, yes, my Guru considered me to be a great fool. And he simply told me to chant Hare Krishna mantra. And we can see in the life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by chanting Hare Krishna, he became like a madman. So this is our goal. But chanting Hare Krishna, one day we must be like mad men and women. We must become mad. Lord Chaitanya's life was like that. We read of this pastime. So it's not easy, but at the same time, by Prabhupada's mercy, by the mercy of the devotees, we get a glimpse. We have focus, we have a goal to aspire for. Prabhupada continues, this Vedic version is confirmed in this verse of the Gita personally by the Lord. He who accepts this truth on the strength of the authority of the Vedas and of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and who does not waste time in philosophical speculation, attains the highest perfectional stage of liberation. Simply by accepting this truth on faith, one can without a doubt attain liberation. The Vedic version, Tat Tvam Ashi, is actually applied in this case. Anyone who understands Lord Krishna to be the Supreme, or who says unto the Lord, you are the same Supreme Brahman, the personality of Godhead, is certainly liberated instantly, and consequently his entrance into the transcendental association of the Lord is guaranteed. Simply, just say, you are the same Supreme Brahman, the personality of Godhead. And Prabhupada is saying, he is instantly liberated. In other words, a faithful devotee of the Lord attains perfection. And this is confirmed in the following Vedic assertion. Quote, one can attain the perfect stage of liberation from birth and death simply by knowing the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and there is no other way to achieve perfection. Seshvatara Upanishad. Prabhupada continues, that there is no alternative means that anyone who does not understand Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is surely in the mode of ignorance, and consequently he will not attain salvation simply, so to speak, by licking the outer surface of the bottle of honey, or by interpreting the Bhagavad Gita according to mundane scholarship. Such empiric philosophers are not necessarily eligible for liberation. Such puffed up mundane scholars have to wait for the causeless mercy of the devotee. One should therefore cultivate Krishna consciousness with faith and knowledge, and this way attain perfection. Many nice points. 3 nice points in this last section. We can attain Krishna consciousness, or we should wait for the causeless mercy of the devotee. This is the first point, that unless we get the favor of the devotee, it's very difficult to become Krishna conscious. Then Prabhupada writes, one should therefore cultivate Krishna consciousness with faith and knowledge, and in this way attain perfection. So faith and knowledge is something that we'll have to work on. It is not easy. Sometimes we may be faithful, but when we put into some reversal situation in our life, when something goes wrong, then our faith is tested. Sometimes our faith is very soft and pliable, and everything may be going very nicely, but somehow when Krishna wants to make you more strong in Krishna consciousness, he arranges for something, and then actually we don't go through much tests. It's just how much we can accept what we're hearing from Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada himself, we could see, although he was chosen by Lord Krishna, by Lord Chaitanya, to spread this Krishna consciousness all over the world, including India. Prabhupada once commented that the most important place to preach is India. And we can see when he writes about Mayavadi, impersonalism, demigod worship, why it is so important to preach to the Indians, to the India. And when we go to India as well, we see, especially when we come out into the major cities like Mumbai, Calcutta, Delhi, how degraded the Indians have become. And it's but when we go into the villages like Mayapur and Vrindavan, then we could see a real India in one sense, how the people are living simply, they're living off the land, and they are all devotees. So Prabhupada said that India was the most important place to preach. Faith and devotion, again it is our practice, it is us imbibing and really taking each word, each sentence that's found in Prabhupada's books very, very seriously. We can easily become Mayavadis or impersonalists within a second, especially when we put into some very, very difficult situation in this life. We'll see in our material world, especially in our close arrangement here, we'll see they'll blame religion for the results of their karma. When they put into difficult situations, let me try this, let me try that, let me try that. And they get cheated all the time. You go there, you'll get cheated. And ultimately they become atheists, they forget about religion, things like that. So it all is coming down to how much we can develop our faith. And when our faith develops, then we can develop a devotion. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life was simply developing faith and devotion. And we can understand how culture is so important. Here we find that Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi, they began to perform these ceremonies to create auspiciousness for Lord Chaitanya when he appeared. And it was just the culture of the people. And when we understand this culture, it's the best culture. Because when someone had a child, they knew what they were doing. They knew what their responsibilities were. When we read again in Bhagavad Gita that why there is bad population in this world, Varna, Shankara, why do people behave so badly? It's because they do not follow samskara even when producing a child. Devotees especially learn, before conceiving a child, they should be properly married, things like that. They should practice their grihastha life under some mentor who knows. There should be some, especially when they are attempting to have a child as well, there's some samskara to be performed. They know the purpose of engaging in sex life. When I get a child, I must immediately, my goal is to make that child a perfect devotee. Bring that child up in Krishna consciousness. Now we see that our society, the population, there's always trouble. Because the whole process from the conception, was not sanctioned in one sense, because there was no samskara. People were simply acting with their animal propensities just to enjoy this body. Just to enjoy this body. They do not know, Prabhupada mentions this, human life is a life of responsibility. When you attempt to have a child, you must be guided, you must have some idea, how will I bring up this child? And if we look at our own lives, we are simply trained to become progressive in a material way. Get a nice education, get metric exemption, go study, get a nice job, go to Johannesburg, go to New York, London, things like that. We are simply encouraged materially. So this is Varna, Shankara, the unwanted population. They cause hellish life. And now we see that practically. This is because there's no samskara. There's no performance of rituals and sacrifices to create auspiciousness for purification. And here we also see both in the appearance of Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya, and their parents, especially Jagannath Mishra and Nanda Maharaj, they perform charity. And to whom did they perform charity to? To the Brahmanas. Although whoever came, they received the feast and they received gifts, but the main focus was on the Brahmanas. And we'll read later on, we'll read one verse from the Bhagavad Gita, the importance of the Brahmanas, especially giving charity to the Brahmanas. So this is chapter 17, Divisions of Faith, text 20. This speaks of charity in the mode of goodness. Datavyam iti yad dhanam diyate anupakharine deshe khala cha patre cha tat dhanam satvikam smritam. Translation: charity given out of duty, without expectation of return, at the proper time and place, and to a worthy person, is considered to be charity in the mode of goodness. 4 aspects. So nice. Charity given out of duty. 1. Without expectation of return. 2. At the proper place and time. 3. And to a worthy person. 4. Is considered to be in the mode of goodness. Prabhupada gives a very nice explanation of this verse in his purport. In the Vedic literature, charity given to a person engaged in spiritual activities is recommended. There is no recommendation for giving charity indiscriminately. Spiritual perfection is always a consideration. Therefore, charity is recommended to be given at a place of pilgrimage and at lunar or solar eclipses, or at the end of the month, or to a qualified Brahmana, or a Vaishnava devotee, or in temples. Such charities should be given without consideration of return. Charity to the poor is sometimes given out of compassion. But if a poor man is not worthy giving charity to, then there is no spiritual advancement. In other words, indiscriminate charity is not recommended in the Vedic literature. So here we see how Jagannath Mishra, immediately he began to give charity to the Brahmanas, because he could understand that they were the topmost persons, and he wanted simply good fortune for his child, Vishwambara, Lord Chaitanya. Charity and the giving of grains and cows are the main aspects of charity that we've read, and especially in this pastime of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Krishna, the main items that were given were grain, that means foodstuff, and cow. It's also mentioned that our wealth in this world is not measured by how much we have in our bank account. It's not measured by how much investments we have. It's not measured by a big house, by the sea, a big car. Our wealth is measured by how many cows we have. And we find, especially in the pastimes of Lord Krishna, when Krishna appeared, this is how wealth was measured, by how much they took care of the cows, how much cows were protection. So when you become wealthy, try and take care of cows. But how you use that wealth is given here. You have to give the wealth to the Brahmanas. And Prabhupada clearly states, he gives the places or the persons that we can give charity to. Charity is recommended to be given at a place of pilgrimage. The place of pilgrimage is both where the Lord appeared and performed his pastimes, and also Prabhupada mentions later at the temples, and at lunar or solar eclipses, or at the end of the month, or to a qualified Brahmana or a devotee, or in temples. Hare Krishna. We'll stop there and we can add on to the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.